The Visitor. By Markus Zusak. Summary. It is May 1942. The NSDAP are inspecting the basements of mulching homes to see if they are suitable to serve as air raid shelters. They move up and down Himmel Street while Liesl is outside playing soccer, and Liesl knows she must warn Rosa and Hans about the inspections. She comes up with a plan. She collides hard into another soccer player and injures her knee so that she can go inside. Before the men reach their house, Hans tells Max what is happening and tells everyone else to do nothing, to pretend that all is well. The man who does the inspection recognizes Liesl as the maniacal soccer player and teases her, then goes to the basement. Max hides beneath the stairs, behind the drop cloths. 3 minutes pass. When the Nazi returns, he says that the basement isn't suitable for a shelter and happily goes on his way. Max apologizes for putting their family in such great danger. About the author. Markus Zusak, born on June 23, 1975, in Sydney, Australia, is a renowned contemporary Australian author. Best known for his international bestseller The Book Thief, Zuzak's works often explore complex themes and narratives. Raised in a family of German and Austrian descent, his cultural background influences his storytelling. Zuzak's literary achievements include several novels, with The Book Thief earning critical acclaim for its unique narrative voice and perspective. His writing blends profound storytelling with poetic language, appealing to a broad audience. Zuzak's contributions to literature have solidified his place among the prominent contemporary authors of his generation. Question 1. Read the extracts and answer the questions. Extract 1. Rudi put his hands in his pockets. The bigger kids, Klaus Beyrig. Para. Photo 15. Question 1. How do you know that Liesl panicked on hearing the news? Answer. The writer uses the show, don't tell technique to let us see Liesl's fear. He writes, instant dryness seized the interior of Liesl's mouth instead of Liesl was scared. Question 2. Rudi says Liesl is stupid. Do you think so too? How do we know Liesl focused on her problem despite her fears? Answer. No, I don't think Liesl was a stupid girl. Her throat and mouth were dry and the air felt gritty, and yet she kept thinking of a way to go into her house without arousing suspicion. Question 3. How does it help us to understand Liesl? Answer. She is in command of the dangerous situation, capable of thinking clearly and acting out her ruse even while she is all tensed up. Question 4. Think, Liesl, she had it. That's it, she decided, but I have to make it real. What was Liesl planning? Why? Answer. Liesl was trying to come up with a plan to excuse herself from the children's game under some pretext and run back to her home and inform her parents about the NSDAP members coming down the street checking the basements in every house to check their viability for being turned into air raid shelters. She had to hatch a plan urgently because her parents were sheltering a Jewish man, Max, in the basement, and without Liesl's information, her parents would totally be blindsided when the NSDAP came to their door and demanded to check the basement. The NSDAP, working under Hitler's orders, wouldn't have taken kindly either to a Jew in hiding or to the people who gave him shelter. Question 5. Why did she have to make it real? Answer. She had to make it real because if the NSDAP members grew the slightest bit of suspicious from her actions, they would turn their house inside out and finally discover the Jew. Liesl realized that her best shot was maintaining all semblances of normalcy and somehow getting the information to her father. Extract 2. Rosa called across the kitchen, hugging it to his chest. Para. 48 to 56. Question 1. How does Rosa's comment ease the situation while heightening the suspense? Answer. Rosa hopes the hurt will teach Liesel not to play such rough games with the boys. And her remark amuses the party man, who obviously admires Liesel's grit. This domestic scene heightens the tension. The family may be enduring knowing the purpose of the stranger's visit and how it might end. Question 2. Why does the writer comment on the man's friendliness? Answer. The general impression we have of Nazis is that they are ruthless and grim, set on doing their job without any humane feelings. And yet, the man is described as smiling while teasing Liesel and showing concern for her bleeding knee. The writer wishes to show that he is a father at heart, though he may be doing the duty of a party man. Question 3. Why has the writer capitalized the 3 minutes of the search? Answer. The writer capitalized the 3 minutes of the search to show the readers that the 3 minutes would have seemed like an eternity to the Hubermans. The writer not only highlights the fact as if it were a headline for a news item, but also stretches out how each one of them went through it. Question 4. Do you think the Nazi soldier would not have noticed the Jew in the basement? Give reason. Answer. The writer calls the party man a kindly gentleman. Further, his pleasant interaction with Liesel gives the impression that he is a man with a good heart. Probably he too may not have been in favor of Hitler's cruel policy. As a party man, he would have been very alert, and locating Max in the basement would not have been difficult for him. I feel that he would have overlooked his presence, allowing the family to take care of him and to get away without being arrested. Question 5. Describe the feelings of the members of the family when the visitor was on the search. Answer. When the visitor was on the search, Rosa prayed, mouthing the words soundlessly. Liesel was hurting in body and spirit, and Papa sat at the table for a while before walking to the hall and calling out to the party man. None of them had the courage to think of what they would do if their basement was considered good enough to be used as a shelter. They were preoccupied with the present inspection. Question 6. Do you think Liesel and the Hubermans were fond of Max? Or were they only worried about being punished for helping a Jew? Answer. Liesel and her parents were fond of Maximum. Her parents had decided to shelter a Jewish man on principle and had also grown to be fond of him. Of course, they also lived with the fear of discovery of their deed as well, but the fact that the child in the family could empathize with Max's fear and helplessness hiding in plain sight in a room with NSDAP members shows the extent of their concern for Max. Question 7. Can you find more examples from the text to support your answer? Answer. We see the Huberman concern for Max from the very outset. This was ever since Liesel's throat dried up when she saw the NSDAP members coming down the road checking basements in every house. Papa's immediate action and his act of maintaining a ruse with very high stakes is again proof of their fondness for Max, who had almost become a family member. Extract 3. Papa stood. Another idea. We all are. Para 58-70. Question 1. Who among the three seems to control his fears? Justify your choice. Answer. When Liesel dashes into him while getting her books, he tells her not to fear her father, for he too is as strict with his children. Question 2. Max claims that he would not have used the pair of scissors he was found holding. Does Para 69 tell us that for sure, or is there some uncertainty? Answer. Max was holding a pair of rusty scissors, according to Para 69, which could be turned into a stabbing weapon with the proper motivation and force. Max tells the family that he had never really meant to use them as a weapon, but given the nervous state he was in, no one can be sure as to what he would have done had he been discovered by the Nazis. Question 3. In your opinion, would Max have been justified in using the scissors on the Nazi? Answer. Perhaps one could not blame Max even if he did use the scissors on the Nazi, because in this context, Max would be desperate to do anything to survive for as long as is possible and escape the Nazi agenda of mass-scale ethnic cleansing. Extract 4. Papa, The party. Concentrate on her bleeding leg. Para 31 to 43. Question 1. How does Liesl prove herself to be a clever and resourceful girl with courage and self-control? Use these situations as examples to support your answer. A. Liesl's plan to warn her parents about the inspection. Answer. Liesl proves herself to be a clever and resourceful girl with courage and self-control. She hatches a plan quickly so that she could slip away from the game with a legitimate reason for going back home. That way, she could warn her father of the imminent Nazi inspection. She tries to keep calm and convey the full information to her father. Question 1. How does Liesl prove herself to be a clever and resourceful girl with courage and self-control? Use these situations as examples to support your answer. B. Liesl's behavior during the Nazi inspection. Answer. Liesl partakes in her father's charade of normalcy when the Nazis were inside their house inspecting the basement. Though her mind was assailed by images of Max crouching in terror, hiding from the Nazis, she was still able to function normally and keep her calm. Question 2. What was Papa's plan to prevent the Nazi from finding Max? Answer. At first, Mama had considered moving Max from the basement to Liesl's room, but then there was no time for that because the NSDP were already at their door. Papa told them the only plan, given the situation, should be to do nothing and receive the party members as naturally and cordially as they could. Question 3. Why do you think he wanted to pretend as though they did not have a care in the world? Answer. Papa wanted them to pretend like they did not have a care in the world so that the NSDP members who had come to inspect the basement in their house would not suspect that the Hubermans had anything to hide. Question 4. Why does Liesl's father say she was a smart girl? Answer. Liesl's father appreciates her for thinking on her feet and feigning a fall that gave her time to give him the bad news without arousing anyone's suspicion. Question 5. How does the suspense move towards the climax in the story? Comment on the line, their heartbeats fought each other, a mess of rhythm. Answer. The line expresses their various anxieties in the precariousness of the situation. Not just the Jew, but they would also be punished, perhaps even killed, for not being in sympathy with the government. So their concern would be for themselves as much as for the refugee in their basement. Additionally, the parents would have worried for their child more than for themselves. The tension among the family was not geared towards one issue but several issues. Therefore, the description of their heartbeats being a mess of rhythms fighting each other instead of being harmonious is a graphic way of saying that their emotional responses to the same situation were different. Appreciating the text. Question A. What trick did Liesl's play to get into the house? Did she succeed? Answer. Liesl had to somehow devise a plan to reach home to warn her parents about the party workers. Hence, when the boy playing there turned with the ball, Liesl deliberately collided with him, hurting her knees and head in the process. In pain, she asked for her father, who came to take her home. She could thus warn him of the impending danger without being suspected. Question B. How did Max succeed in escaping the searching eyes of the party man? Answer. Liesl and her parents had no time to waste. The moment Rosa and Hans got the news, they made sure that Max was safe in the basement. There was no time to shift him anywhere else. The family cleverly managed to hide him behind the paint cans and sheets beneath the steps in the basement. But for the timely management by the family, Max could have been caught. Question C. Describe the tense situation Liesl and her parents were put through because of their kind nature. Answer. Liesl and her parents took the great risk of hiding a Jewish man called Max in their basement, as they were against Hitler's cruel policies. They knew if discovered, all of them would be arrested and sentenced to death. They probably were waiting for the right time to plan his escape. In the meantime, the terrifying news of the party man coming to search the basement where Max was hidden hit them. It was terrible, tense moments for the family till the soldier left after checking the basement. The unsuspecting soldier left much to the relief of the family. Question D. How would you describe the two parallel lives the Hubermans were leading? Would you use the same adjectives to describe both? Answer. The two parallel lives led by the Hubermans were in sharp contrast with one another. If on the surface, they were a respectable German family, peacefully living in Hitler's changing Germany, their other life was a silent revolution against Hitler's fascist and anti-Semitic regime. Question E. Why has the writer drawn such a sharp contrast between the two lives? Give reasons for your answer. You can choose more than one of the given options. Answer. All the three reasons provided here may have contributed to the author's decision to draw a sharp contrast between the two lives. The stark difference between the normalcy of the German children playing football and the fearsome condition of Max getting almost caught by the Nazis makes us more sympathetic to the suffering of the Jews. The cheerful normalcy of the Hubermans' external life, Papa's light banter with Liesel, their normal household chores and their courteous ways of greeting remind us of the parallel life that they lead.
Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more updates.